it just feels amazing. I don't know. It just literally feels amazing. So 2 days ago, I decided to delete my social media, which is kind of crazy, especially for someone in my generation and my age. I'm 21. I decided to delete it because I just felt like trapped in this cycle of living, but not even living for me, like not even living for my life, for my interests, for my own happiness. It's kind of like you're living for other people. Let me tell you an example. So I went to Billie Eilish on Tuesday, and it was so good. Like, oh my god, it was so good. But like, I'm even ashamed to admit this because I feel like it's so cringe and like stupid, but I felt like the whole time I was there, I like wanted to get a good picture or a good video for my Instagram story. And like, that's just like so stupid when you think about it. Like, I'm going to a concert that I've wanted to go to for so long, and I had the best time of my life, but still in the back of my head I was just thinking like, oh, I hope I get a good photo, I hope I get a good video. And then I did get a good video. I got such a good video of Lunch, you know, the bit where she plays the keyboard. And I got such a good video of that. And then the whole concert, I was just thinking about how good that video was, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm going to be able to post such a good video of this. And then kind of reflecting on that, I was like, Sadie, that is so fucking pathetic. Why do you even care about that? But I feel like in this society, we've just been brought up to like care about things that are so minute and so stupid and so don't matter. So yeah, that was one of my like big kind of epiphany moments where I was like, this is not how we should be living our lives. But even in little things, like, I don't know, we put on an outfit and then if we can't get a good selfie in it, we just feel a bit down because we're like, oh, I can't show off my good outfit. But it's like, everyone who's seen me in real life can see my good outfit. I don't know, I just feel like we're living in a world where our actual lives don't really matter. It's what we put on a show reel for other people to see. And I think another defining moment was I kept getting home from work and then I would feel really like exhausted, and my brain was seeking out dopamine because my dopamine was low. And then I would just spend like 2 hours scrolling on my phone. And I'm not even someone who doom scrolls. I made a very, very strict habit of not letting myself do that because it was like literally ruining my life. So it's not even like I was a doom scroller, because I honestly haven't doom scrolled since 2024. Do you know what I mean? But obviously I had slip-ups. But I would just like go on Instagram and like not even doom scroll, but I'd just be on it, or I'd just be checking Snapchat, or I'd just be like on those apps. I feel like doom scrolling is the big problem here, to be honest, and I have friends who are so bad for doom scrolling, and I'm literally like, oh my god. But like, you can't force anyone else to change. You like, as much as you know how much better your life is without doom scrolling, you can't enforce it on other people, to be honest, because they won't listen. And I've learned that the hard way. So yeah, that's a different story. But I would just not even doom scrolling. I'm still spending hours on these apps just like looking at my photos or curating the perfect post that makes my life appeal cool or mysterious. Or I'll make TikToks and I'll make 6 of the same to try and get a good one. I don't know, I just feel like in this life, I don't know, I just felt like it was just getting a bit too much. And I'm really not the type of person to not be on social media. Like, this is so not really me. Like, I've never ever had a thought to delete social media till 2 mornings ago when I deleted it. But now that I've deleted it, I just feel like a different person, and I feel like my life has so much more purpose, and it just feels amazing. I don't know, it just literally feels amazing. And it just feels like now, the power of deleting 3 apps off my phone, my whole life feels different, and it feels like everything I'm doing has a different purpose, and I'm living for me and not for a fake show reel of me. feel like when it comes to me and social media, I've always had quite good boundaries in the sense of, for example, I never got Be Real because I knew that if I did have Be Real, it would make me feel insecure about my own life, and Be Real pretty much was showing off what you're doing, and I feel like all social media is showing off what you're doing, but Be Real in particular was like, what am I doing at this certain moment? And the fact that you could take your Be Real at any point in the day just proved even more how much of like a show reel it was, because I bet if everyone actually had to post at the exact time that you got the notification, I bet so many people would just be alone or doing boring things or in bed, or do you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, you would hear people say, oh my god, I'm gonna save my Be Real for this, and it's like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose, to be honest. So yeah, I'm really glad that I never like got involved with that, because I think that would have been really bad for me personally. So yeah, I've always kind of had like boundaries set in terms of social media. I don't know, I've always been the sort of person that's like a bit of a loner, very independent, and does a lot of things on my own. Whether that's out of choice or not, that's a different story. But I feel like when you are someone that's on their own quite a lot, when you are on social media so much, it does just start to make you feel so unhappy and lonely. And then it's such a paradox, because then you will watch someone's video like Emma Chamberlain, and she spends 90% of her time alone, and then it makes you think, wait, does everyone spend this much time alone, or am I the minority? And like, obviously everyone's different, you know, some people probably don't spend a lot of time alone, but I feel like with social media, people mostly post when they're with their friends, when they're doing something exciting, so it does start to feel like everyone around you is doing stuff with their friends and always with people, but in reality they're probably not. And I think reality is so skewed on social media, because I could go for a coffee with a friend for an hour of the day, and that could be my only like social reaction, that could be like my only social interaction of that day. But if I post a picture of that on my story, that's kind of saying to everyone like, yeah, I'm with friends today, like I was with a friend today. But you never know how long someone could have been with that friend for. Like, I could have literally been with a friend for 5 minutes and then posted a picture of it and then put that on my story, and then everyone might think that I've spent the whole day with that friend. Do you know what I mean? So when you kind of look at it in that way, it kind of opens your eyes, because I don't know about you guys, but personally, if I see that someone my age, or like someone who I'm like friends with or mutuals with, if I see that they've posted that they're like with a friend, I'm like, why aren't I with a friend? Why am I not busy right now? And it's like, social media is so perfectly crafted to fit whatever story you want to tell. So if you want to tell the world that you're really cool and you spend loads of time with friends and you're always busy, you can make it look like that so easily without actually having to live like that. You know, for all we know, someone could ask a stranger to pose with them, and then they can post a picture and pretend that it's like their friend that they've spent the day with. Like, do you know what I mean? It's so perfectly crafted, and I think we forget this. And yeah, I think it's just interesting, because I tend to watch a lot of content of people who do spend a lot of time alone, because that comforts me, and that's what I aim to do with my videos. I aim to comfort those who maybe aren't always busy or aren't always with friends, or sometimes feel a bit guilty or lonely about being alone a lot of the time. So a lot of the content I consume is kind of in that genre. I don't know, for example, like there's a YouTuber that I like to watch, and I didn't watch her videos for quite a few months. I just kind of, I don't know, you know when you go through phases with YouTubers and stuff, I just kind of like wasn't in a phase where, sorry, I need to drink my pre-workout. I just wasn't in a phase where I was watching her videos, but I still followed her on Instagram, you know, kept up with her stories and stuff. And on her stories, this is not like slagging her off, or this is not me like slating her, by the way, obviously I'm keeping it anonymous, but on her stories or from her Instagram, you would think that she is like 24/7 with friends, always out at events, always busy, never has a moment where she's not doing something fun, like she's young and in her 20s, which is great, whatever. But then I would watch her YouTube videos, and I watched quite a few in a row, and literally most of the time she was at home on her own. And I think it's so like crazy that social media has got to the point where you can literally just tell any story that you want to tell, and like people are obviously going to believe it, because why wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of forget It's like, I always say that, do you know when you watch like Zoella and Alfie's vlogs, or like you watch their Vlogmas, you only see 40 minutes of their day, but you think that you're seeing like the whole day. And it's crazy because the way that the videos are made just makes you feel like you spent the whole day with them, and realistically you've spent literally 40 minutes of a 24-hour day with them. And it's kind of the same thing with Instagram. Like, a picture is literally a split second of a day, and we are so easily led in this kind of like social media thing, like generation world, that we have, like, our brains just think, without even thinking, we assume that from a split second picture that is someone's whole day. And yeah, as I was saying about the YouTuber that I watched, like, when I then watched her YouTube videos, I found so much comfort from her YouTube videos because she was literally just alone in her flat all the time. Obviously she would go out and see her friends. It would maybe be for like an hour, half an hour, and then she'd come home again, and then she'd have another 3 hours where she's alone, or she'd spend a few hours with her friend in the day, and then she'd come home and have the whole evening by herself, and she'd just be watching TV. And like, that's why I love YouTube. And when I say I've deleted social media, I have not deleted YouTube by any means, because YouTube is just like different for me. And I think even if I'm like binge watching a load of YouTube videos, I feel like they're still beneficial because you're not just like, I don't know, that's a whole different story. I'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, I just feel like YouTube is just like so different. Specifically Instagram is just such a highlight reel. And I'm not trying to be here and be like, you should get off Instagram, it's not real. Like, I used to listen to people say things like what I'm saying right now, and I'd literally be like, shut the fuck up, like, grow up, whatever. But I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm just like in a different mindset right now, where more than usual at the minute, I'd say I'm spending time alone, because I'm just in a bit of like a transitional period in my life right now where I'm about to start my master's, so I'm probably gonna meet a lot of people there. I'm living with one other housemate, but my other two housemates haven't moved in. I've been working a lot. It just feels a little bit more isolated and not necessarily lonely, because to be honest, I don't actually feel that lonely because I've been really busy. But in terms of like classic going to the pub or things like that, I haven't been doing as much because no one's really been around. So for me to then look on Instagram and see all these people like doing all these things, that's like not helping me in any way. And I think that's probably what pushed me to do this, deleting my social media apps, because I just realized that it's not helpful or beneficial to me at this moment in time specifically to have Instagram and have these apps that just like make me feel shit about what I'm doing, because realistically what I'm doing day to day has not changed whether or not I have Instagram or not. I'm still going to work every day, I'm still going to the gym, I'm still doing whatever I'm doing. But I feel like when you have Instagram, even if you're not posting that much, like, to be honest, I don't really post that much. When you have Instagram or whatever app you use, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever, you fill your day with these moments of seeing what everyone else is doing, and then it makes what you're doing feel inferior or feel useless or feel stupid, or you compare what you're doing to all these like snippets that you're seeing. And so far it's felt so freeing to not have those apps on my phone, because I'm still doing what I was doing before, nothing has changed, but the guilt or like the comparison that I used to do, comparing what I was doing to what other people were doing, was so like it was an overwhelming amount of comparison, and like it would overhang everything that I did. Now that I've not got that, it's like, okay, I can get on with my day now. I don't know, it's such a stupid concept when you say it like that, because it's like, why is it even such a big deal? But maybe to some people it isn't that big of a deal, and like they might have like a healthier relationship with social media. But I think just the type of person I am, like a lot of the time I am just like a passive Instagram user or a passive TikTok user. I'm just on the app looking what other people are posting, sort of vibe. So for me it's a bit more toxic in that way, because I'm literally just sat there looking at what everyone else is doing. That just takes a toll on you. I don't know. I feel like I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but it would just make sense to just not have it. Do you know what I mean? Like, just delete it, Sadie. Just fucking delete it. It's fine. So I just had a bit of an interesting moment where I was just sat on my bed on my phone, and there's nothing I can describe this else. There's nothing else I can describe this as apart from the urge, like the sudden, overpowering, grating urge to like scroll on Instagram. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's as if the words I want to scroll on Instagram were like projected into my brain. Like a Black Mirror episode. Like imagine there's a Black Mirror episode where there's someone inside your brain projecting your thoughts into your like eyes. Sorry. I'm trademarking that idea right now. It was as if that happened and someone had written, I want to scroll on Instagram right now, because it was weird. It was honestly quite scary. I was literally just on my phone and the thought just popped into my head and I was like, ah! So that happened, and obviously I didn't scroll on Instagram. I don't have the app on my phone. I'm not going to re-download it. But it was interesting because it gave me an opportunity to dig deeper and think, okay, why did I get that urge? And I think when we're so involved with social media, we often just go on social media because it's like an impulse that we just like give into when, I don't know, we're bored. I mean, it happens all the time at work. I work as a barista and honestly, this grinds my gears. The amount of times that people are in the queue and they're like scrolling on their phone like this, and I'm like, who's next? Who's next? And they're just not even listening. They're just like engrossed in their phone. And like, I'm not trying to be snobby. I've probably done that in my life. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying people are wrong for this, but it's just so, as someone who's standing behind the till without their phone on them, it's frustrating because I'm like, you're not even hearing, you're waiting for a coffee and you can't spend 1 minute not scrolling. But I think because we're so accustomed to just going on our phones, we don't even think twice about it. And I think in that moment, if I did have Instagram downloaded, of course I would have just scrolled, and I probably would have scrolled for a long time. It was actually so nice to have that impulse in my brain because my brain has been trained for so many years. I mean, I probably got Instagram when I was like 10 years old. Don't quote me on that. When did Instagram come out? Don't even know. It came out in 2010. Wait, yeah, because I remember I used to have Instagram when it was like the little brown camera icon. Does anyone else remember that? Since such a young age, my brain has been trained to just scroll mindlessly when there's like an inch of no stimulation, or when I'm waiting in a queue, or it used to happen all the time. Like I'd be in the living room in my uni house and I wasn't really in there for a purpose. I was just kind of in there to like see who was in there. Obviously I'm just going to be scrolling. Like that's what I'm going to be doing. I actually recently discovered this about myself. I'm really not a living room person. That sounds so like weird. I don't like sitting in the living room because it makes me feel so like I don't have a purpose being there. And I think something I've learned about myself recently is I really don't like, unless I'm purposefully looking at something on my phone, I don't really like just sitting down and not really having like a purpose to be there, and if that makes sense. For example, I don't know, I had my friend Toby round and like it would be the morning time and he'd just be like scrolling on his phone, like he'd just be sitting there like chilling out a bit, and I was actually there like itching. I was like, okay, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? What are we doing now? And I've literally just moved into a new flat and my housemate has been spending a lot of time in the living room because she's revising for her exams, and I found myself just like not going in the living room, not because I don't want to be social, but because if I'm not watching something in there, or if I'm not like doing a task such as revising or something while I'm in there, like I don't want to be in there because there's nothing in there that's going to stimulate me unless it's scrolling on my phone, and I don't really like doing that. And for a while I haven't really doom scrolled, as I said, so I just think it's interesting. Like before I stopped doom scrolling, I never really noticed that about myself because I was just like everyone else, you know, like I would sit in the living room and I would scroll. And like I'm really not trying to say that I don't scroll on my phone. Like obviously I don't scroll on social media anymore because I don't have it, but I still, you know, I spend a lot of time like scrolling on like Vinted or scrolling on Pinterest or watching YouTube videos, but I also kind of feel like that doesn't count. I don't know, that might just be me being in denial. I just found it so interesting how my brain literally projected the impulse to scroll on Instagram, and obviously I couldn't. So I was like, oh, I've just dropped blueberry on my bedding. Even though it's definitely not as detrimental to scroll on like Pinterest or something compared to like Instagram, it's still the same act of scrolling, and I don't want to replace one form of scrolling with another. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like mindlessly scrolling, if I'm going to eliminate that, I'm going to eliminate it. I'm not going to replace one bad thing with a slightly less bad thing. Do you know what I mean? That's been my thoughts. life goes on. I didn't scroll on Instagram. I really wanted to for like 1 second. I grounded myself. I was like, no. And I went and I made a yogurt bowl. I don't need a distraction that is probably my biggest distraction of all, and is also a distraction that I can eliminate with the click of a button. Do you know what I mean? So why wouldn't I take that step? I think it is going to be hard to not have Instagram. I love Instagram so much. I'm not saying I'm never ever going to post on there. I mean, I think it's kind of hot to just like, maybe in a month's time I'll just randomly drop like a photo dump and then leave again. Like, that is so sexy to me and mysterious. I think having it on my phone, I'm not gonna have. Like, I'm not gonna do that. That's just how I feel for now. That might change, but everyone's brain works differently. So some people won't have to delete it to not go on it, do you know what I mean? But like, I give into temptation quite a lot, and I know that about myself. So the only way that I can properly do this for me is to delete it. And yeah, that's what I decided to do. Have you ever owned something so incredibly, unimaginably perfect that you're kind of a bit scared, even just having it in your presence, because you're like, what did I do in this life, in this world, to deserve something so beyond perfect? More perfect than I could have ever imagined. Look at this bag. Are you actually kidding me? Are you actually, like, is this a joke? When I tell you I've wanted a bag, this exact silhouette, this exact material, the way it hangs, the size, everything about it. When I tell you how long I've wanted a bag like this, and the other day I was just scrolling on Vinted, as you do, and I see a red bag, and I'm like, that bag looks cool. It's not perfect, it's not what I'm looking for necessarily, but that bag looks cool. How much is it? Oh, £15. That's quite steep. Let's offer 14. Offer gets accepted. Fuck it, I've got some Vinted coins in my balance. Let's just pay. Let's just go for it. Minutes after buying this bag, I had regrets. I had big regrets. I was like, why have I just spent, you know, 16, 17, 18 pounds after Vinted fees, you know what I mean, on a bag that I'm not really that passionate about, but I went on with my day. Oh, how wrong I was. This is what turned up in the mail today. This beauty, this piece of perfection. I can't put into words how perfect this bag is. It's exactly what I've been looking for. I'm a bit stunned because how, I don't know, but it's perfect and it kind of brings a tear to my eye. So I was walking to the post office and I was wearing my cute little outfit with my brand new red bag and my little cute little yellow shoes, and I felt really cute. My hair looked good. It was sunny outside, and as you do, I went to take a photo of my outfit, and then I thought, oh, why am I taking a photo of my outfit? No one is gonna fucking see it because I deleted social media. So then I just kind of awkwardly just like put my phone back in my bag, in my brand new red bag, in my perfect, brand new, Instagrammable red bag. And it got me thinking. It did. It got me thinking because, oh my God, like, what? I'm kind of like having an existential crisis because I'm like, wait, do we just like put on nice outfits because they'll make a good Instagram photo? Do we just dress nice because it'll look good on our curated, perfect social lives on social media? Even just thinking about that kind of stresses me out, because what if we're all subconsciously just doing all these things which we think are part of ourselves, but we're just doing them because it looks cool on social media? My honest opinion in terms of me personally, I think I would love to say that I genuinely love fashion and I genuinely care about what I wear, and I don't dress for the camera. I just dress in what I think is cool because, you know, I care about what I look like. I want to wear clothes that I feel confident in, clothes that I like, and, you know, clothes that I think other people are going to be like, oh, she looks cool. But part of me is thinking, like, when you can't take a photo of it, or you can't post it online and you can't show it off, does it matter as much? And I think I'm literally on day 2 of this digital detox, so I don't think I really have... Sorry, it's not a digital detox at all. It's a social media detox, sorry. I don't really think I have enough evidence and thoughts yet to truly consolidate my thoughts on this, but it was just a bit of a crazy thing because I literally took my phone out, took a picture, and then I was like, oh, I don't need to take a picture of this. And it just got me thinking and spiraling into so many thoughts, and it's like, it's that whole thing of like, post it or it didn't happen, you know. Yeah, I feel like so many like thoughts are going around my head right now. There's such a spectrum because obviously if I see a girl just like walking down the street in a cool outfit, I'm gonna hold her to a high regard. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna think, oh my god, that girl looks so cool, like that girl looks so good. And that has nothing to do with social media. Regardless of whether that girl dressed nice for an Instagram picture or not, I'm still gonna see her in real life on the street and think, oh my god, she looks so cool. I don't know, it's just so crazy to me. Like, it's like my whole world is kind of like turning upside down because what do you mean, like, there's no point in me taking a selfie anymore. I'm such a selfie taker. I'm literally day 2 into my social media detox and I'm already having like these crazy, like overwhelming epiphanies, and it's like, I don't know. This is crazy. Anyway. So my housemate left me loads of goodies in the fridge because she's moving out for a month. I'm gonna be home alone for a month, guys. Rock on, dude. And she had apricots. Now, I've never tried an apricot in this format. Now, I'm a dried apricot girly. I actually don't allow myself to buy dried apricots because I honestly just eat the whole bag and then I get the shits and it's a whole thing, and like apricots are actually quite high in calories, so it's just a whole thing. So I don't let myself buy them, but she had these and she was like, I'm not going to use them, obviously, because she's gone away, so cheers. It's really like I would imagine this is what a ball sack feels like. I'm not sure I enjoyed that experience. That is so fucking weird. It tastes like a really bad nectarine, but like a really bad one. Like a nectarine that has like only 10% of its flavour. That is what this is. I'm not impressed. So I was just walking, which I think is something that people that don't have social media do. I don't know, I'm new to this. And I put on my walking boots. And I was just thinking to myself, like, how undeniably comfortable my walking boots are. And that got me thinking, like, why do not more people wear walking boots for their, like, hot girl walk? Like, I'm walking to drop off a Wi-Fi box at the Yodel, oh my god, my French, at the Yodel store, and I put on my walking boots, and this is glorious. Like, they're fashionable and comfy. Like, low-key, I think they actually rock with this outfit. Anyways, my point of the story is, as I was having this playful thought surrounding my walking boots, the urge to like take a picture of my walking boots and like post it on, I don't know, a close friend's story, or just Snapchat a picture to my friend and be like, why don't more people wear walking boots, haha. But obviously I can't do that because I don't have social media. So now I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, I have you guys to tell, which is always great. But do you know what I mean? It's just a bit like, it makes me want to be with a friend right now so I can like discuss what I'm thinking. And I think that's kind of beautiful in a way. Because I think when we constantly have social media as an outlet to say our thoughts, we don't feel the need as much to actually tell something to a friend because we've told our private story. I think there's something kind of beautiful about actually wanting to be with someone, or like even just texting someone. I think is way more intimate than like putting on a private story. So yeah, just a thought. I thought that was kind of beautiful in a way. Second granola bowl of the day. Guys, I think I'm out of my porridge phase, which is actually really sad because porridge is so good, but it just hasn't been hitting the past 3 times. And usually when this happens to me, because if you don't know already, I'm the sort of person that eats the same meals every single day until I get sick of them. Once it hits the 2 or 3 mark of it kind of going a bit mid, I'm not eating it again. Well, it'll come back into rotation, but probably not for like another at least 6 months. So now I'm back to granola. I'm loving it. Loving it. I thought I would just come on and round off this video. I feel like this video has been a lot of talking, which I think has actually been quite nice because a lot of my other videos recently have been like slower, more like montagey, and I feel like it's nice to actually just like word vomit to you guys sometimes. So you're welcome. Day 2 completed. Sorry, my mouth is so full. Day 2 completed, guys. I'm feeling great, honestly. There's so many more pros than cons. Like, it's actually indescribable. And I think I kind of want to do this as like a bit of a like video diary kind of thing. Maybe keep you guys updated. Maybe I'll do another one in like a month's time, and then 6 months time, and then a year's time. Do you know what I mean? Just so it's like I can give you my evolving insights into this whole thing. But I just basically went on a really long walk because I had to drop off the Wi-Fi box. And originally it was only going to be like a half-an-hour walk, but then I got to the Wi-Fi box place. I got to the corner shop, which is like actually a bit away from my house. It was like a 15-minute walk. I got to the corner shop and he was like, our yodel machine isn't working. And I was like, fucking hell. I did throw him a bit of sass. I literally went, ugh, and I walked out. And then the nearest other yodel drop-off was like a 20-minute walk away. So then I had to do a 20-minute walk and then I had to walk back. So I actually ended up doing like an hour round trip, which I didn't really mean to do, but oh well. So yeah, I had a lot of thinking time, and I think my feelings and thoughts at this moment in time in the experiment are, I say experiment, but this isn't an experiment. This is just my life now. I've decided. I mean, never say never, but for now, yes. I think a lot of the feelings I'm experiencing are very overwhelming and kind of like existential crisis-y, because they're so overpowering and crazy, like these epiphanies and ideas and thoughts and feelings I'm having just from not having social media on my phone. Every decision I now make is for me and for real life. It's not for how it's going to appear on social media. And I think there's something quite beautiful about that, because like how much of our lives, I think I touched on this earlier, but like, it's like how much of our lives and decisions that we make are for how it's going to appear on social media, not necessarily for how much we care about in real life or how it's going to affect our real life. And it's interesting because I was listening to an Emma Chamberlain podcast, of course, and she was touching on the fact that, do people think of us as our actual real life presence, or do they picture us as what our Instagram is? And I think that's so interesting because a lot of the time through social media we think that we're like really good friends with someone because we're on their private story, we're on their close friends, we're constantly seeing what they're up to and we know a lot about them, but do we actually know them that well in real life? And it makes you think, like, if people don't know me in real life, they're not going to know me, which I think is such a hard pill to swallow. Do I have chia seeds in my teeth? No. Which is actually such a hard pill to swallow, because it's kind of like all these people who you kind of associate yourself with and, you know, who you kind of keep updated with through social media, that's gone. That's gone. When you delete those apps, you don't have that anymore. And like, obviously the people who you want in your life, you will text, you will call. Even just today, I've texted so many people that I wouldn't usually like go out of my way to text, because on Snapchat, it's like, I just send them a selfie, or I don't know, like I've seen them post on Instagram, so in my head I'm like, oh, I've seen them today, do you know what I mean? But it's like, I think doing this is gonna really make me realise like who I want to reach out to and who wants to reach out to me. Some of my friends, I don't really speak to them too much, like on text, but because I'm on their private stories, I feel like I'm being updated. But I always say this, like, I'm never updating them because I don't have a private story. So it's kind of like a similar thing. I need to hold myself accountable to reaching out to those friends, because I don't have that ease of getting away with, you know, oh, well, I'm on their private story so I know what's going on. Number one, I can't use that excuse. And number two, is that even an excuse? Like, how are you going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm quite close with that person because I'm on their private story? Like, that's not... Society's made us believe that that is like a tangible relationship. Oh my God, the sun is just going in. But is that a tangible... Sorry, I've literally got yogurt everywhere. Is that a tangible relationship at the end of the day? Probably not.
So I'm excited to see how this whole thing plays out, but I'm also like very much filled with like, it's not like a dread feeling, it's more like it's like a fear of the unknown of what life is going to be like without this. And like even just then I just got like a pang of like, a pang, is that the right word? Like a twang of like anxiety, because it's like, oh my god, I'm not on Instagram. Like what? I don't know, it's so crazy and stupid when you say it out loud, because it's like, of course it doesn't matter that I don't have Instagram, but then it's like, in my generation and in my age group, to not have it, it's kind of like. But then also, there was people growing up, like where I live and like who I knew of, who didn't have Instagram, and I used to think that those people were so cool. Or the people who didn't have Snapchat, so cool. I've just got to remind myself that to other people, like, number one, it's not that big of a deal. And number two, maybe they'll think I'm cool. I don't know. I'm not doing this to be cool, to be honest, because I think if I wanted people to think I'm cool, I would probably continue posting on Instagram and show this like curated show reel on my story. It doesn't really matter what my intentions are or what other people think my intentions are, because that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I spend too much time on social media and I compare myself, and I've got shit to do you know what I mean? I want to get on with my life, and I just feel like it's kind of holding me back. And it's an experiment at the end of the day, like it's not, like it's fine. And I think the beauty of it is that if I get a really hot, good Instagram photo when I'm on holiday, I can log back in and post it, and then I can log back out again. It's not, like I'm thinking about this as if it's like the end of the world, but it's not. And I just need to remind myself that. And if you're doing a similar sort of thing, or if this video has inspired you, we need to remind ourselves that it's fine. Like it's literally fine. It's an app that you can download on your phone. But I think until you do it, you won't realize how like powerful it feels to like not have it. It's crazy how much it interferes with your daily life. To like, I feel like I'm just like not a loner in the sense of being lonely, but I feel like I'm just cut off from the rest of the world, and it's like this crazy feeling, and it's simply just by deleting an app off my phone. And I think that in itself speaks volumes and kind of proves the whole reason why I'm doing this, that like I've made something so synthetic such a focal point in my life, and it's so stupid. So sorry, I've just tried to film that twice and I've burped in the second recording, so you can deal with that. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And if you've done this before, or if you are still doing this, or you've done this for a bit and then gone back, I'd love to know your experiences and everything in the comments, because I don't know, before I did this, I was like reading loads of YouTube comments on other people's videos who had like done a similar thing, and I found it so interesting. So yeah, if you've done a similar thing, please let me know in the comments your experience, because I'd love to know. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, I just want to reiterate that by doing this, I'm not trying to be a snob. Maybe I am a little bit, but I genuinely just am doing it as a social experiment for me to see, is that a social experiment? I don't know, just an experiment to see what benefits I get from it, and maybe what cons I get from it too. Like, you know, there might be some things that I'm like, oh damn, like I wish I could do this, or I've missed out on this, or da-da-da. It's like, in life you've got to, what's that saying? Test and trial? Trial and error, oh my god. Test and trial. In this life you've got to do trial and error, otherwise you'll never find your sweet spot, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's left you with some food for thought. It's definitely, my brain is like a bit overwhelmed because of how much food for thought I've given myself, but it's fine. It's fine. Bye guys.